Hello, welcome back to All For United WFC. The WSL is finally back. It feels like forever during international breaks that it kind of just seems to drag, especially because there's been so many. But finally, we're back talking WSL. Obviously, we did the show the other day. If people did see it, we've spoken a little bit away from United for a change. We've not done that for a while. And obviously, talking about the WSL changes and the Champions League and all those formatty changes that are coming in the next few years. But we're back today with this awesome panel. Look at the four of it. Where else would you rather be on a Friday night chatting Man United Spurs with these three wonderful people? So get your thoughts in over the next kind of hour or so. We're obviously going to talk Spurs. There's a lot to talk about. Obviously, a couple of injury updates today. Obviously, the Malta tour I keep calling it a tour. The Malta camp, the 7-day camp, obviously, as well. And we'll just talk a little bit about everything, to be honest. So we'll see. Yes, indeed. She is back with the drawings, making sure all three are on show today. So we won't have the debate about what that middle one is again, because we went through all that before. So, I think we'll just decide on a shrimp, because that's what you seem to.
I've already been offended once. Let's not bring this back up again, please.
I'm expecting more as the year go on. Into next year, can we just fill that wall? With just more
of course.
If you run out of space, Vic's got a lot of space behind her, I can see. We'll stop going across there as well.
Post them, yeah.
There we are. Where should we start then? Nikita Paris. We'll start with her because obviously United have literally tweeted this within the last hour or so. She did win United's Player of the Month, which, to be fair, I don't think is unexpected considering the November month she had. So, Vic, let's start with yourself. I'm assuming we're all going to say it's deserved, but how good has she been, obviously, to get this award? And I guess she had a lot of doubters as well. We signed a lot of forwards over the summer. There's question marks about her, with how much game time she's going to have, but she's been one of our better players this season.
Yeah, I think it just shows that, she weren't really on form last year, I would say, but this year she's come out with a bang, and I think she's just going to be one of those players that is just going to keep going for us. She gives her all every time she steps on the pitch, and I'm really happy for her. It's probably something she needed after obviously being dropped from the England squad as well. I know it hit her quite hard, so I think that'll get her fighting, and she can show Serena what she's got. And something that England are missing at the minute as well is that finishing in the final third, and I think she'd be an asset to their team as well. But I'm just glad she's with us. She can stay fit for us, and she's nice here, so she can stay.
Yeah, something that's not really been spoken about, Keats. Obviously, she does stay fit. She hasn't had a lot of injuries, certainly since her time at United as well, which is always handy to have, especially when we go on to the next conversation, which we're going to be talking about in the midfield, where we have got quite a few injuries now. But Mia, for yourself, Vic mentioned it there, obviously not in the Lionesses squad at the moment. Do you think that's maybe doing her a bit of a favour, the fact that she can just solely focus on football and United and just almost like that proving the point attitude that has just been mentioned?
I mean, it could have gone one of two ways. It could have gone the way that it's not gone, which is she loses a bit of motivation because she's not getting recognised for the work that she's doing and the brilliant performances she's putting in, and just scoring like there's no tomorrow. But she hasn't. She came out and she's carried on to perform, and hopefully that continues for United, because currently elsewhere goals are not a problem, but some people aren't on top form, goal scoring form for United at the minute. So I think she has done really well, and I think it's criminal that she's been snubbed, but hopefully she keeps performing, keeps scoring goals, and Serena cannot ignore that.
Especially when she keeps saying in interviews as well that she picks players based on the current form, not on names. And then Mead came straight back in after playing 40 minutes. I mean, not so sure about that. But there we are. Andrew, for yourself, obviously, Paris is obviously our top scorer right now, especially up in the WSL with 4 as well. So, pretty good going. I know what Amara's saying in the chat. She's been pretty consistent with this, to be fair, that the team she has scored against, a lot of them were against Everton, obviously Liverpool as well. West Ham, I think she got I can't remember what other girls came from, Bristol, obviously, as well. So they are teams that are lower down. the team. But as Mia just said there, no one else is is scoring like Paris is at the moment, so we kind of need somebody like that.
And so she's a player in form at the moment, so bagging the hat-trick against Everton, a former club, and then as she said, got the winning goal in the League Cup against Liverpool, and that was a brilliant goal she scored as well. So there's no signs of her letting up at the moment, which is what we kind of need at the moment. So she's her and Rachel Williams is also getting goals as well, but Nikita Paris is just on fire at the moment, and you just can't think of her dropping it from the first team at the moment, because she's the one on the pitch, creating and scoring for us. So long may it continue the goal scoring form.
Oh, I'm sorry, really off topic. We were chatting about this before we went live, and I said it was quite loud. Have I turned Andrew down too much?
Yes, you probably have.
Should we up that back up to?
Shall I shout? Shall I shout a bit more?
That's definitely louder in my ears. So hopefully that comes across to
be very quiet then.
To you guys as well. But yeah, I think we can. I don't think you can. We'll get to our starting 11 and kind of who we're going to play, but I think right now we need players that are scoring. Come on, TJ, you're doing me.
Higher.
Are we turning it right up again? God, Andrew, this might just turn into a solo show for you here. I can't believe this. I don't know. It sounds all right on mine though. Maybe it's just my headphones are really loud. I don't know whether it's just me or what. But I don't know. You're lucky John's not in the chat tonight. Not you, Commode. John Davenport.
How do you know? He might be in there.
To be fair, yeah, we do get quite a few people watching, as I can see, that are not commenting right now, which is fair enough. Right, let's move on to Spurs then. And I believe this is factually correct. A team we've never actually lost to. There we go. I've said that from the start. You watch us lose on Sunday. But I'm pretty sure we've beaten them all times we've played them, apart from once, which was the 1-1 draw at the Hive, Andrew, which I'm sure you remember because we were both there.
Yes.
In that 95th minute equaliser, which was horrible.
Just feeling very down afterwards, having something to eat. It was like, we should have won that game, and just unfortunately that free kick that came out, and just no one could get the ball away, and then Mary just couldn't get her hands to it. So yeah, it was disappointing to see such a late goal.
Were you in the car with me for that one as well? I can't remember whether you travelled down with me. You did. Yes. And the parking was more expensive than the match ticket. It was like £12 or £15 for the parking on the ground, which is horrendous. Considering this was like 2-3 years ago as well, before the WSL really took off post Euros. Shocking. Can't believe that. So yeah, just to ask you all how kind of, I guess, confident you are going into this one. So Vic, I'll start with yourself in terms of any concerns for you going into this one, or are you pretty confident after the international break?
I wouldn't say I'm confident because I don't think it's good to be too confident, but I'm feeling good. I think they'll come back fighting form after the international break. Obviously, we've discovered we've got an injury, so yeah, that's put a bit of a downer on the situation. But I do think, I think it'll do the girls good. I can't speak tonight. Do the girls good, and hopefully they come out in fighting form and ready for. Because I do think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be an easy game. It's not going to be our hardest game of the season, but I don't think it's going to be one that's going to be handed to us on a plate. I agree with Marc's interview the other day that the City game was definitely not a 7-0 win. It didn't look like that. So I do think it's going to be harder, and I don't think it's good to go in feeling like too confident about it because it's going to be a battle.
No, for sure. I agree with everything you just said. Just very quickly, Kevin, on your point, it is at Brisbane Road. Unfortunately, it's not at the Tottenham Stadium, which is a bit annoying actually, because I missed the game last year at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and I really wanted to go. And then I was just, I get to go to, is it Leyton Orient men's side that play there usually?
I think it's like the third season now we played them at a different ground, because obviously last season White Hart Lane, and then before Barnett's ground. So it's like three seasons, 3 different grounds we played them at.
Oh dear, it's your neck of the woods, isn't it, mate? your original neck of the woods, so to speak. So you can give us the local info on Brisbane Road if you want.
Leave as soon as you can. Leave as soon as you can. Get home quick.
I don't plan on sticking around, not at this late kickoff as well, because it's going to be a late one, that's for sure, for us travelling. But Mia, for yourself, what do you reckon leading into this one? Are you confident, happy, concerned? What's your kind of emotion, I guess, going into this one?
Yeah, it's going to be a really interesting one because Tottenham generally this year have been pretty good. Before the international break, they obviously got hit 7-0, which by City, which was a stinger, and probably quite undeserved. But I think with that, they're going to want to come back from international break, flying. So I feel like we've lost some people here. But no, I am worried about their unpredictable nature, and I think they have great strengths in all areas of the pitch, and I have no doubt that Martha Thomas will bag a goal. I have no doubt, and that pains me to say because I love her a lot, and I don't like her at Tottenham. But yeah, I don't know. It's going to be an interesting watch.
I'm glad you said that because you shocked me enough to kill my laughter that I had to turn the camera for that. I can't. We'll get back to Martha Thomas because she's on the thumbnail actually, so we will definitely dive into her. Speaking of diving, Andrew, you're going underwater apparently, according to most of the...
Yes, sounds like I'm drowning a little. It sounds like it.
I think you sound lovely. I don't know what's going on. To me, anyway, like, through my headphones, you sound fine. But maybe it's just my headphones.
Just maybe, everyone else.
While you're speaking, I'm going to get YouTube up on my phone and listen to it on there while you're having your say on your thoughts.
Just on the Tottenham game, feeling good going into it. Yeah, just say with the result against Bristol City, we needed that. Bounce back after the City game as well, in the after that disappointment. So, Tottenham are going to be hurting from the City game. No one likes losing 7-0. So, they say they'll want to put on a good performance and, well, hopefully not too much of a good performance, especially Martha Thomas. I know Mark Skinner was speaking about her in his press conference saying, look, her time at United and saying, well, she couldn't continue playing the role she was going to be playing at United. So, best for her to, get that first team action. So wishing she has a good game and not too good of a game that she scores, but hopefully we can go there and pick up the results. So just as long as we just come out the traps, because I felt like the Bristol City game, we weren't quite, if we'd been quicker on the attack, I felt like we could have, scored much earlier than we did against Bristol City, but just feel like just be quicker in the attack and not, sometimes moving the ball from side to side or just slowing things down. Sometimes you can take on the opposition and, force them backwards. But yeah, feeling good about the game on Sunday.
No, for sure. Very quick. You sounded perfectly fine. When I was listening to that on my phone, then you were fine. So I don't know what they're on about. I've been intrigued to see how it comes on Spotify as well, once we've done all the editing for that and everything else for those that are listening on there. In answer to your question, Paul, you are correct. Clinton will not be playing on Sunday, which is good. We are going to talk about Clinton as well because it's worth mentioning her. And I've seen a lot of shouts for her to be recalled, and I want to have that discussion as well because I don't think that's the right thing at the moment. I've got to bring this up again. That was I said this on the show the other day. That for me is comment of the day so far. So let's see if someone can beat that over the next 40 minutes. But Highland, you've got that title for the time being. We'll talk about a couple of the injuries now because we've got a bit of update of a couple of players that are not going to be available this weekend. Obviously, Miyazawa we all saw limping off in a friendly over the international break, and Guerrero obviously is still out from the injury she picked up. But Vic, what would you be doing with this midfield? Because Miyazawa's obviously been the constant in there for the most part. She's kind of interchanged. It's been her, Toon, and Zelen for the most part. But obviously with her out now, who is the kind of automatic replacement for you to come into that role?
So, I mean, it's just so unfortunate about Hinny. She was literally on the pitch 2 minutes. This is why I hate international breaks at this point in the season. Like, just so annoying. I would do Zell, Lad, and Toon in the midfield. I think that's our best option going forward. And I think if Zell and Lad hold back and put Toon in the middle, right behind whoever's down the middle, I think that would be our best option. I do think we've literally just got to go all attack because I think that's what Spurs will do. If Beth's back, that's what she'll do. So I guess I always say the best form of defending is attacking. So that's what I would do. I think you've got Zell on for the set pieces. Lad's a defending midfielder. She's really good at that. Good at like holding the ball back and things like that. And then Toon can get forward. I think she's had a really good international break, and that's not my bias. And I think she played. I do think she plays better when she comes on as a sub for England, though. I've always said that. But I think she's had an incredible international break. So hopefully she can come back and bring that to the United on the pitch on Sunday. I think that'd be really good because that's what we need.
I'm intrigued to hear what everyone's combinations are going to be here, because there's a lot of people in the chat are going for exactly the same, saying that it's going to be that return of the trio that we saw last season. So I'll come back to my point in just a second. But Mia, for yourself, what trio would you be going for in this one? I said Lad seems to be the one that everyone is calling for. Ellie's made a comment about Lisa as well. They're probably the only two I can think of, unless. No, I literally can't think of anyone else off the top of my head. There probably is somebody that I've just completely forgotten about. But yeah, who would you be going for in that trio?
Yeah, I'm exactly the same. I think Lad has. I feel a bit gutted for her because she had a good season last season and has just been sat on the bench. Played really well against Liverpool in the Conti Cup. So it'd be nice to see her back. She's very solid, reliable. I am not yet sold on Lisa, which might be a bit controversial. I'm not massively impressed from what I've seen so far. So I would stick with that. I'm also gutted for Miyazawa as well, because it feels to me like she's just started to get into the team and finding her feet in the league, and this happens. And yeah, we'll just have to see what happens with her. But yeah, gutted for her. But I do think, as Vic says, Zell, Tooney, Lad.
And Andrew, are you going to make this a full house and go for Lad as well? Because I think there's a misconception with this trio that it's two holder midfielders when you play Lad and Zellum together. For me, it shouldn't be. It should be Lad sitting deeper and then Zellum goes further forward. That doesn't always happen. Zellum does drop deeper as well, which is why it might look like there's two defensive midfielders on the pitch at times. But yeah, are you going to make it a full house, or are you going to put Lisa in there? And I've just checked. I don't think I've missed anyone that's currently fit anyway that can slot into that role.
I say I'm going to go for a full house. I just thought it's tried and trusted. It worked well last season, and I just think, like Mia said with Lisa, we haven't seen the best of her yet. So I'm just throwing her in this game. It might be too much of a risk, I just think that sitting. I was going to make that point as well. So Lad sitting in the back, it allows Zell to move further forward as well. But obviously, when we're defending as well, Zell can track back as well and help out the defence too. So and those three work well together. So I can't see Marc's going to, unless he does spring a surprise on us and chooses someone else or puts another player in that role. But I feel like it's going to be Lad, Zellum and Tooney in that three. So yeah, full house for me.
Yeah, and I'm going to make it an even fuller full house and just say, yeah, because I agree anyway. I think I would like to see. I do think Lisa's a very good player, and I hear what you're saying with that coming. He's playing some. I think she's had enough this season to, and I think she has looked good. I think in the games against PSG, I thought she was quite good. But then in recent games against City, not that anyone was good against City, but I feel like against City she was quite poor. I don't think she was great in the 7-0 over Everton. There's definitely a good player in there, but I think right now we need trying to be serious. We need a player that can come in that we know can be consistent. If you're wondering why I was laughing, it was Amara's comment there. It's back to the whole underwater thing with you.
Maybe we should have the background is water as well.
You've proper killed Mia off there.
She's gone.
I'm going to make you a background, Andrew, so you can. I've never ever looked at Andrew. I've been on shows with Andrew for like nearly 3 years, and I've never once thought it looked like crabs.
That's so funny. Oh my goodness. Thank you for that. I will never look at it the same way. Wow.
Oh dear. You certainly have. You've certainly started something here. Oh, prawns now, apparently.
Oh.
Prawns, crabs. That's how we roll.
Yeah.
And me and Vic are just basic with plain. Nothing. There was a comment I just wanted to quickly get to. I've lost it now. It was a bit further up. So there's no official confirmation as to what it is, but I wouldn't expect to see her. The official confirmation, she's out until after Christmas, but I wouldn't expect to see her in Jan either. Let's just say that. She's out for a while, I think. Yeah, which is good info. I think I think everyone's just said it there. When we're looking at players that came in obviously over the summer, that is now 5. I'm pretty sure it's like 5 out of 8, 5 out of 7.
I think that's what he said in the
as well.
Press conference. Asking him why so many injuries and his signings as well.
It's not only literally is Fallon, obviously, is a goalkeeper and not played too much. And then Mallard, who's on loan, and Jace, that's it. All of our other players that we signed, including Rabjon, are all currently out injured and not short-term injuries either. They're out for a little while. I wouldn't expect to see Guerrero for a while either, which is just, it's a bit frustrating. For a team that had no injuries last season, really, for the most part. I think we missed Honor for like 2 games, but for the most part last season, we were pretty injury-free. So, yeah, it's a tough one, that. No, I haven't, John. I couldn't tell you what that's about. I assume a mermaid, but I've got no idea what that's about, when it came out, who stars in it, or what. I could tell you nothing about that. Fun fact, actually, we did a work quiz yesterday, and I got like 1 out of 10 on the film round. So, tells you everything there.
Shock. Imagine my shock.
Yeah.
Blimey.
It isn't. Like, I wish I could sit here and say I've seen it. I haven't. I can't help you there. Interesting question here. Could we try Jace in the 10? Now, this is something we have kind of spoken about in recent weeks, that Jace does drop deep. Sometimes too deep for me, because sometimes she's further back than Zellum is, which is not ideal for your striker. But has anyone got anything to add on this point? Could we see Jace in the 10, maybe I imagine that's a Jace, Tooney, Zellum trio, and you have Mallard up top, Paris on the right, Golden on the left, maybe. For me, that's a bit too forward.
I don't understand why we do that when we've got a player that can play in that position. It could work, but I don't see why we've changed the midfield this season anyway, because it worked last season, so why have we changed it? I'm very much on that anyway, but I don't understand why we do that when we've got 3 players that can play well together as a team and are a good unit together, why we would put another person in just for 1 game. We've done too many changes of the midfield this season, way too much for me. We've had so many changes, and it's just for me made it not work. I think we finally found that kind of 3 that were working well together, and now obviously Hinny is out. So why would we change another thing, if you get what I'm saying? I mean, it might work, and she's got brilliant passing and she's good on the ball. But to me, we brought her in to do the finishing product, and she still needs to get used to doing that. So I think she needs to be up top.
Yeah, and I think as well, I think if Jace in the 10, funnily enough, is not something I'm against, but I feel like you'd have to drop Toon to do it. I don't think you can put both of them in there. I think they're just getting each other's way, to be honest. I think if you had both of them there, because they both want to do the same thing, and we're not like Man City men's where they can just overload the midfield with everybody. Because we don't have, well, Lad could probably do it, but Zellum's not going to come out of the side in order to be able to do it. So I don't think it can work, personally. Albeit, when Jay starts on Sunday, you'll see her dropping deep into that role anyway. So I don't think it's something that, I don't know, not for me. Not if, because I don't want to drop Tooney right now because she's actually in good form. So I don't think it's fair on her to shove her out of position just to have Jace dropping back. It kind of leads on to a question. I'm not going to be able to find the comment, but it was definitely Joshua that asked it. I found it. I'm getting good at this. Another question: does Jace start or Mallard or both? In this case, I'll throw another kind of side question in there. So, Andrew, I'll start with yourself. Are you starting both, one of them, and obviously the second part of that is which positions?
That's a good question. I just think I would start Mallard. I just think I'd put her ahead, and she has looked good when she's played through the middle as well. I just think that's probably. Just remember the game against Everton away where she scored, and I just thought she was just going through the middle. So I just think with Jace at the moment, it's just the finishing where it's just letting her down slightly at the minute. But she has scored a few goals, but just in the other games where we thought she should have scored, she hasn't. So I'm just thinking maybe, Mallard up top, and then maybe Jace would replace her in the second half. But see, they can switch because they both played on the right as well. And Jace is, very good at on the attack as well, and taking on the opposition, also holding up the ball as well. Just that question of playing her in the number 10 role was just like, I could see it work, but then what do you do with Ella Toon? So can she drop back? But then you're sort of restricting her attacking ability as well. But sometimes Tooney's played on the left, but then you got to drop the Galton as well. So yeah, I would start with Mallard at Spurs for me.
Yeah, and what about yourself, mate? Because there was a couple of comments a bit further up just saying, Mara saying they're both with Keats. Obviously, that would likely mean Galton missing out. Jake's gone for Galton, Jason Paris. Obviously, Tooney just behind. What would you be doing in terms of that front line, in terms of Jace, Mallard, and that kind of conversation?
It's a really lovely headache to have, I think, first of all. But I think they work really well together. Jason and Mallard work really, really good together, and I would like to see them play more together. But the one problem I have with Jace is she does all of the hard work and all of the beautiful looking technical stuff, and then the final ball or the final decision, the final shot is still not good enough yet. And that's annoying. But she does seem to get on really well with Mallard there. So maybe that's something that Marc Skinner has to tap into a bit. But he played them, I think the last time he played them together, please correct me if I'm wrong, he played Mallard out wide and Jace through the middle, which I don't like. I would prefer that the other way around, just because Mallard has that goal scoring ability right now. But yeah, as I say, it's a good headache to have, and it's nice to know that you can bring these players on and switch them around if you want to. But yeah, it's a case of who do you put on the bench, because Paris cannot sit on the bench at the minute. Galton hasn't really found her feet, I don't think, this season yet. So we probably sacrifice her, but equally she brings some excitement to the game. She's just, I don't know. I have no idea.
It's an interesting conversation because obviously Galton is the one that usually stays at that front line, but I don't think she's been as good as we've seen her in previous seasons. Mallard's best season in France was off the left, Skinner has come out and said that he sees her anywhere across the front line. They bought her as a left winger, but she can play striker, and he's playing her on the right. I don't understand. Someone's going to have to explain that to me because I just don't understand what he's trying to say there. If you buy her as a left winger, then what happens to Galton? Then why are you playing her on the right? And then saying she's better as a striker, well, which one is it? Because that's 3 different positions there. So I don't get that. But I think we saw it in the second half against PSG in the first leg when Jace and Mallard were linking up together. Jace was out wide, Mallard was down the middle, and it works because I agree with what you're saying. I think Jace for me is so good, but so frustrating at the same time because she can beat a player easily. I think she's one of the best players in the league at that right now in terms of being able to beat a player. But that end product, her passing ability for me is not quite there yet and not finding teammates. Whereas when Mallard's on the pitch, she can get into those areas as a proper number 9, so it's easier to find. Vic, what about for yourself? I think most people are saying here, Sporty's not playing Jace at all. Saying chuck her on to create chaos against the Tyrant opposition. Again, not against that either, to be honest.
I would do different to everyone who's just said. I would have Jays down the middle, Nikita Paris, and Garcia.
Oh, Garcia, I forgot about her.
Yeah, don't forget about her. I think Garcia's been all right this season, and I think that'd work well for her. Galton, I really like Leah Galton, but she's not been on form for me this season at all. I just don't. I would have her on the bench, especially against Spurs when we want to go full attack. I think Keats, Jays, and Lucia.
Lucia's
just to throw another one in the mix.
I thought you were going to say like Rachel Williams or something, to be honest, but I think
no.
I think Garcia's an interesting because again, I'm pretty sure, and someone can correct me wrong, I'm pretty sure Marc himself has come out and said that Garcia is better off the left and he sees her as a left winger. Well, that's 3 then, because if we brought Mallard as a left winger, Garcia is clearly better off the left and there's Galton off the left. Well, he's not playing them there, so he clearly doesn't see their best positions, or he doesn't think they're good enough to overtake Galton in that position. So, yeah, the front line for me is actually more of a difficult conversation than the midfield because I think we've got some very good players there. But I don't think we know quite how to fit them all in. And it feels like we're in the derby, we definitely did this. Just put them all on, see what they can do. And it's becoming a little bit of a problem. It's why we're not seeing team like us click together. Because the players are not being able to get that partnership with the players on the pitch. So I don't know. What we're saying here is probably not going to be what he does. I think what I want to see is Jace Mallard but then, because I don't want to drop Paris. Mallard off the left, Paris on the right, Jace down the middle. That's what I want to see. What we will see is Jace, Paris, and Galton, I think. Spear doesn't agree with me there. Or she doesn't agree with Skinner, one of the two, if it is going to be that.
Yeah, I don't like that second combination that you've put out there. Not at all.
Yeah.
I was going to just say, just thinking on Garcia as well. So I think in certain games she's been better coming off the bench and making that impact. So obviously, when she started games and then she's tired towards the second half, she's just like I just feel like at the moment she better as an impact sub and then building her towards being in the first team starting in certain games as well. So it's just striking that balance. It's difficult to fit these players in, and I think Skinner said it in his press conference. I have to decide to pick the team. Certain players, I'm going to not be picking them. I'm going to make them unhappy. So, he's got to pick the right team to win the game. So,
no, for sure. I think I agree with John Cabot's point. I like Skinner, but I don't think he knows his best team right now. Vic keeps moving. Like every time my camera goes off, she's in a different position to what she was before. But I agree with you, John. I don't think he does. And I think that's why we've seen so many changes this season, which is not... I don't think it's all on him because the squad didn't have that long after the World Cup and we made a lot of late signings. And then they all went away for international break right before the start of the WSL anyway. So there wasn't a lot of training sessions leading up to the first few games. But, we're 10-odd games in now. you'd like to think we're getting towards Christmas that we know where our players should be playing and their best conditions and so on.
If it's not going to click now, when will it? When will it click? So we've had literally nearly like 3 months of the year. Well, 2 and a bit months of the season. So we can't wait forever because the season will be over, and then so at some point, we're all going to be on the same page as each other.
Well, that's what you said, didn't he? It's going to take another couple of months. It's like,
which is like, we can then be getting into the business end of the season. We're like, well, we're going to be challenging for those top 3 places. Who knows? In a couple of months, everything could change around. We could be, say, near the top, even maybe challenging for the title. Who knows? How results will go. Could go in our favour. It might not.
No, for sure. Vic's moved again.
She's back again.
All over the place here. I was going to say, Jake was asking if you'd been demoted after you can't see a shout.
No, I had to get my charger and then I couldn't get it out under the thing, so then I moved room and then now I'm back. It's fine. I've managed to crawl under a desk and get it sorted. Sorry.
There we are. It's all good. John makes a really good interesting point there. So Jace was away with Brazil. So potentially with her getting back later than the rest of the squad, obviously it's quite a travel as well. Maybe. Yeah, and like I said earlier, I wouldn't be against it. Her coming off the bench, I think, would probably be a better thing for her at the minute in terms of against a tiring backline. Yes, it's I don't know. It's a real tough one, isn't it? I think at the moment with Marc. That's why I've put him in the Titans with the 3 wins needed, because I think if we don't win at least one, well, I think at least 2 actually of the next 3. I think we're going to be having those difficult conversations as we go into next year. This has come up with a really, it's done that thing where it doesn't actually tell me what the emoji is. It just says humans hand pink waving. So I'm assuming that's a person waving, but I'm not entirely sure because someone's going to have to log on to YouTube and look at that. I don't know what that is. We can't see that on here. There's a comment I wanted to get to. There's a question a long time back, but I just want to get a quick fire one to you all because we did this here. I can't remember who was on me. You were on this one because it was the City one after the awards night. I'm going to ask this question again, obviously, but with Spurs in there instead. You've got to swap a Spurs player into this United starting 11. Who are you picking and why? I think there's only me personally. I think there's 2. Shout. And you can't pick Clinton, by the way, because she is technically a United player, so you can't pick her. But it's got to be somebody, and whoever you're picking starts for United. And I will just throw this out there from the start because Charlie got a bit, iffy with this question last time. We don't actually want this to happen, but for the hypothetics of the game, everyone's got to try and pick a player. But I have a feeling we're all going to go for the same one here. Who wants to throw their gauntlet down first?
Yeah, I'll go first. I mean, the obvious one is Beth England, right? That's absolutely obvious. And I did have someone else in my head, but it's quickly gone because the first person I thought of was Grace Clinton, and then it clicked that actually that doesn't count. Yeah, but Beth England, obviously, and especially when we're talking about not lack of goals, but like struggling to bag the amount of goals that United were scoring last year. She would be a no-brainer. If I think of the other person, I'll speak again, but I can't remember what I was saying.
NT's not playing, especially without Charlie to mess with. Yeah, Charlie was selling Mary Earps, wasn't she, on the last one? She wanted Roebuck in goal. She's going to kill me for saying that. Is there any other shouts, Vic and Andrew? Can you think of anyone else, or are you going for
Sorry, it was well? Martha. Sorry.
Yeah,
no,
I was just about to say.
Really?
I'd have Martha back. Obviously Beth England as well, but I would have Martha back. I really liked her. I don't think she got the playing time she really deserved last year, and I think seeing her without Russo there, I think it'd be a different kettle of fish. And yeah, I would so have her back. I mean, I'm not being funny. She's finishing, and we've been struggling to do that. So
I was going to say, if we're bringing United players back, then you would say Amy Turner as well. So
I was going to say, I shall,
shout out to Amy Turner. So yeah, definitely I'm going to go Beth England's law. Just her goal scoring ability. Would bring something to that United squad as well. Just looking at Tottenham squad, probably just thinking because of her experience. But I know it's another midfielder, Drew Spence as well. She's played for Chelsea, and I'm just thinking that experience in the midfield would help as well. But at the moment, we've got a lot of midfielders. So if she was in the squad, would she get game time as well? But no, the top one would be for me, Beth England. So, but yeah.
I'm going to caveat the Martha Thomas shouts because Vic, you're not the only one that said this. A couple of people in the comments have said Martha Thomas as well. When you actually look at her scoring, I'm going to sound like Amara here. Stat padding. She scored a lot of her goals at the start of the first few games and hasn't scored, I don't think, since mid-October. And this is in all comps.
Which is when Spurs last won, didn't they? I think they've not won in 2 months in the league, so that's where it's.
Yeah, 21st of the 10th when they beat Aston Villa 4-2. She scored a hat trick. That's the last time she scored.
She's top goal scorer though, isn't she, so far?
She's not anymore. Well,
she not?
Technically she's level, but Shaw is ahead because she's got one more assist.
What are they on 6?
Yeah, they're her, James, and Shaw, James, and Thomas are all on 6.
About her.
Yeah, so for me, I wouldn't have Thomas back. Me personally, I just don't think she's that great. And yeah, Beth England for me. I wanted Beth England before she went to Spurs. I would still take her now. I think she's one of the best finishers. Well, her stats back it up. And yeah, I agree with you, Haile. Martha did do a very interesting interview the other day. I don't think it's going to be the first of a few of those. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure. But for me, Beth England. But there we are. We all came up with a name this time. See, Charlie, that's how you play the game. We did that in about 4 minutes. That's how you do it. Yeah. Because it's Villa. How are they doing, by the way, now? Villa. They've won a couple of games, haven't they, now? So, yeah, maybe they won't go down. But it's funny seeing them near the bottom after everyone hyping up, saying they're going to finish above United. Come on.
Villa have been the reverse of Tottenham because Tottenham were down there last season. Villa have just, Villa were flying last season. Now it's, Tottenham have made it's been a bit of a mixed bag in terms of the season. So many wins and draws and losses, but they're doing better than Villa, so...
I think it's so funny, both men's and women's team, we haven't had the best season. And, the men are, 3 points behind City. So, I mean, that just explains it itself. And we aren't, that far off. So, I just feel like haters need to stop hating. Leave us alone. We're having bad seasons and we're still doing okay, so...
It is a good point. When I was looking at the tables, I couldn't quite believe that we're actually in there. If anyone knows that's a chant, I believe, and I do know what that S is in that SOTV there. I can't say it on here. Either way, Emily did swear on the show on Wednesday. I couldn't believe it. She only been on the channel a couple of times, straight in there with the F-bomb and a couple of other swear words in there as well. She did apologise, but yeah, I do. If people, if you know what that stands for. But I can't repeat it. What should we move on to now? I think we'll go back to the question a bit further on. Feel like we're going to have this conversation at every single show we do until January. It's an interesting question. It's saying this is probably a whole different topic. I feel like Earps might stay in January. Point to prove, perform better in a team she knows to make it more attractive to other clubs now. Now, like I said, I feel like we're going to be having this conversation leading all the way up to January as we get closer, obviously, to that window opening. We've got, obviously, the Malta camp at the start of January, which could be interesting to see whether she goes to that or not. But yeah, what do we reckon to this one? And it kind of ties into a question that a lot of people have asked, again, throughout the chat in terms of Fallon, in terms of what that means for her this weekend. So I'm just going to ask you each a question. Obviously, this one that is on screen, but also in terms of Fallon this weekend, are we going to see her at all in the WSL? Because I think we will see her against Leicester because she just is the Conti keeper right now. Are we going to start seeing Fallon, or do we think that stays in until she potentially goes in about a month's time? I don't know. That's an open question to any of you. I didn't ask you. That was two.
Go for it.
Now you go.
Okay. Right. So I think Marc is a little bit of a dreamer. And I don't think Mary Earps doesn't want to be at Manchester United. That's a fact. That is obvious. She's made that abundantly obvious for a long period of time. It's a shame that this is how it's gone. But I think she goes in January, and I think she goes off her own back, and I think they're going to try and do as much as they can to keep her, but I think that'd be really silly for sort of the dynamics of the team. They need to think about United. So I don't think she goes, and I think it's best for everyone that they let her go. And I think it's realistically, if I was Marc Skinner, I'd be playing Fallon from now, knowing that Mary Earps is going to leave in January, so that I'm not being funny. That game that she played against Liverpool was outrageous. It was the audacity for her to start for the first time and pull off a performance like that is ridiculous. She's got it. We all know she's got it. But play her now. Embed her in that team, in the starting team now. Let Mary then go. Whether that's going to happen, don't think so. Don't think that's going to happen. It wouldn't shock me if Earp stayed, but then it wouldn't shock me if United didn't do very well for the rest of the season. And I just think everyone needs to cut their losses a little bit. She doesn't want to stay. She doesn't want to be there. Let her go. Let her go. Let her do what she needs to do. Bring Fallon in, who clearly, someone mentioned it earlier, is spending her international break looking at castles and, traveling the UK because she's interested in where she is. That's brilliant. She's happy at United. Let her start. Let her play. Say thank you very much for your time, Mary Earps. Goodbye.
She didn't come to. We've got the Malvern Hills near me. She could have come over there. It's a nice place to come and have a look at. I've got to say, Amara, you're saying fifth, which I'm assuming by that you're meaning that either Spurs, Liverpool, or somebody like that are finishing ahead of us. You're starting to sound like certain pundits that put Villa ahead of us at the start of the season. But I just had that comment on screen. Now I've just taken it off because I was. But Andrew, at this point here, Earps has never missed a WSL game for United. Do you think that's maybe, obviously, not maybe the reason, but like Marc maybe isn't dropping it because of that will be the story? No matter whether we win or lose, let's say Fallon starts on Sunday, whether we win or lose, all the questions are going to be about why Earps wasn't playing, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. It's like, well, why has she been dropped and why is Fallon in? Well, yes, Fallon's playing in the Conti Cup games, but for me, Mary Earps is one of my favourite players, but I'm just thinking if you don't want to be at the club, then you can go, because I'm just thinking if you're not going to give everything for United, then there's no point in being here. So you can see it on the pitch, the defence, sometimes they're just lacking a bit of confidence. And, I think I remember in the Bristol City game, there was one point in the game where Bristol were on the attack, and I think the ball was coming into the box, and I felt Mary should have gone out and got the ball, and she didn't, and then the defence had to clear it away. So I feel like I should be in finding Nemo next with those comments. Sorry, that has thrown me. So Mary, would she stay? I don't want to, like last season with Russo, I don't want to be in that situation where I think we can get something for her in January if she leaves. That'll be money in the bank for us, because we ultimately kept Russo so we could get into the Champions League, which we did, and she didn't stay. So this is it's almost like, as me said, cut our losses, you know, and give Fallon the chance. I mean, the Liverpool game, she played so brilliantly. I mean, that save she made was ridiculous. I mean, looking back, seeing her pushing the Liverpool player out the way and then just making the movement to make the save. Trying to fuck me off, they all are. Trying to fuck me off. Yeah, so I think Mary, actually I can see her staying beyond January. That's the feeling. I just don't think United want to, you know, we want to lose her, so she's an important part of the team, so it's getting that Champions League spot again as well. So, but then we'll just lose out on the money if she does go in the summer, so it's a bit of a swings and roundabouts. So I don't know.
You made so many good points there as well, and I'm sat here just laughing because DJ and Marc are just
I'm trying not to look at the comments.
All these references. I was laughing at the Finding Nemo reference. Well, obviously this one as well. I have actually seen Finding Nemo. I've not seen the Dory one, but I have seen Finding Nemo. Another film.
A film I mentioned. You've seen it.
Exactly. There we are. So another one you can add to my list of like 10 films I have actually seen. There we are. Just wanted to shout out, obviously, Miriam. She scores bangers. I say this every time I see a comment from her. Go and subscribe to her channel. If you haven't, I'll say it's the same question. Why haven't you? Go and do it. Makes a very good point there. You know, obviously, Fallon has it the most clean sheets and save percentage last season. Eyes emoji. Vic will love that. Need to build those minutes. More eyes emoji. I wish you'd have put them now. Because I think you can put. I might spam the chat with it in a second to see if they come up. But exactly, and I don't. Someone made the point a bit earlier as well that we're not exactly losing anything by bringing another keeper. We spent a record fee for a goalkeeper for Fallon, and I think someone did make the point that that's kind of us accepting that Earps is leaving at some point. But Vic, I'll throw all of those questions at you, but also this one from John, which is a very interesting one. Would you swap Earps and Rober?
No, I wouldn't. And I like Kelly Roebuck, and I don't like Mary Earps, but I wouldn't. I'm just like waiting for those eye emojis to come up now because it's gonna freak me out.
Just you wait, I'm getting it.
No, let's not, because it actually like makes my skin crawl. Right, anyway, so I think Mary's gonna leave. I think if she stays, I think it's such a bad move from the club. It really wouldn't surprise me. Here they go. You can see them. And I think if she does stay, it's basically because she's got a name behind her. And I think that'd be the only reason. I don't think her performances have been up to much scratch this season at all. England or United. I think she'll start on Sunday, but purely because of the interview she did after the England game versus Netherlands. I know that's probably quite mean to say, but I do feel that Marc will take on board that interview, and if she doesn't play, people will blame Marc for that. So yeah, I know it's not the nicest thing to say, but I really do think that she will start on Sunday, although I don't think she should. But I've said since the start of the season that she shouldn't be starting. Don't think she's got the right attitude, and I don't think she's happy at the club. So if you're not happy, then you know we don't want to watch someone shouting at other players and not being like that on the pitch either. So yeah.
I think it's an interesting one. I think you're right. I think the only reason, as I just asked Andrew a second ago, I think the reason why she is playing is because of the name that Earps. To me, she's more than a footballer now. She is just a brand in her. Wherever she goes, the brand goes with her, and you know she'll take fans to whichever club she goes to because that's how big she has got. A lot of the Lionesses are like that now. So I think she will stay in goal until she inevitably leaves. But I just don't think it's good. It's good preparation in terms of the signing. We've given Fallon a year to bed in off the pitch and get used to the squad and everything else. But I think on it, if she does go in Jan, and like I keep saying, we've got Chelsea away and City away, first two games at the end of Jan, that's a tough one to be thrown right into. There was a question in terms of where would she go if she went in Jan. I think there's probably 4 places she can possibly go. Obviously, the obvious one is Arsenal.
Retiring.
That's a shout. I think there's probably, I don't know if I can name them. I'd say 4. I think there's about 4 clubs. I know of at least 3 that we're looking at her, but I think 4 is probably where she could go realistically. That actually need a keeper and would want her as well. So now that would be something if she had Bristol. The Bristol keeper's really good though. Actually, the one that obviously I can't remember her name. Quite young, the one that played against us. So yeah, decent as well. There was another question a bit further up as well. I found it, but also this comment as well. Sandy McCarthy. She did. As somebody who supports and watches Scotland, I don't know why she was dropped for the game against England. She did nothing wrong last Friday. I won't get into that because I start ranting.
I would have thought probably like pressure of facing England, Serena.
I should hope not. She's a better keeper than. But yeah, I'm not going to get into that anyway. But I think if you saw us laughing again, Jake, I think you've made a top tier comment there as well. That shark that is on me. This is just the. I can't believe it. What a theme of the show this has been. That's the one. That's what I was thinking of. So yeah, we will see. Like I said, we'll have plenty of shows on Mary, I'm sure, as we get into January, because that is going to be rife in that conversation as we get there, because the rumours will start, I am sure. Right, should we get on to score predictions and then we'll kind of talk a little bit. I just want to briefly mention, obviously, this game that got announced there, obviously the Malta one as well. But yeah, let's go for your score predictions. Who is everyone, or what score is everyone going for this one? Mia's got a head in her hands. I can't believe this. She's fuming.
Can we call this score whatever you put down for that predictions league, by the way? Just so I don't. Right, score. I'm gonna say 3-1. Do you want goal scorers as well, or do you use that? Fine.
You can put your goal scorers in if you want as well.
Okay. I'm gonna say Martha Thomas scores for them because I think that's written in the stars. And then I'm gonna say 2 for Tooney and Nikita Paris.
I think that's pretty fair. Andrew, Vic, what are you going for?
I think I'm going to go the same score as it was last season away, 2-1. I think it's going to be Tottenham. I just think we'll say want to come out, fighting for the City loss, so they're going to make it difficult, for us as well. In terms of scorers, I'm going to go Nikita Paris and Rachel Williams. I just think she's going to come on and score, I think. Well, hopefully she does.
Go on, Vic, what are you going for?
This is really hard. I think 3-2 to us. I think scorers for Spurs, Beth England, if she comes on, hopefully she does because I've just said that, and Martha Thomas because she just wants to probably shut Marc Skinner up. And for us, I think all 3 goals will be Tooney assists, and 2 will be Nikita Paris, and 1 Jay's.
Yeah, I think that's pretty fair. I think, to be fair, Highland, I realised it's as I asked the score prediction question because I was thinking about it and I was like, it's because we chatted backstage before we went live about Beth England, so it kind of all merged into the show for me. But yes, she is potentially back this weekend. Well, she is back this weekend, so we'll see whether she starts or whether it's just going to be an appearance off the bench. But yeah, she's certainly back around the squad for Sunday. She did play a behind closed doors game as well, so she's back on the pitch, which is good for Spurs, not good for us if she does come on the pitch, that's for sure. Just to, on this point here, obviously we're talking about Saf there potentially being the alternative to Fallon. Obviously, if Mary goes, I've got no issue with that personally. I just think the fact that I don't know what. I'll say it anyway. The fact that we're looking at other keepers, I think, tells me that they don't trust Saf to be number 2 just yet. To be honest, I want to see Saf loaned out, if I'm being totally honest, because I don't like players, and it's difficult for keepers that are just sat there. I think we need to be loaning her out, getting her playing, and then seeing what she can do in the first team. Put her in, send her to a team near the top end of the championship or kind of lower down the WSL, and see how she gets on. But me personally, I've got no issue with her becoming number 2. If Fallon does step up as well, 4-4. No, my heart rate can't say that. It's a late night for us. We've got a long drive home. I hope it's not. And that's a shout. Can you imagine? She's really tall as well, Fallon, so she probably could get her head. Those kind of late crosses into the box, send Fallon up top. I'm not against that. And to be fair, seeing her in like the pre-match warm-up stuff, she's got a decent strike in her as well. But she was warming the keeper, obviously, because she warms Mary up a lot with obviously the goalkeeping coach. She's got a decent shot on her. I'm not against that. So maybe we're in need of goals.
You know what? I'm really not against at the moment. Putting Millie Turner down the centre, centre forward. Off you go, Millie. I think it was Connor a text at the last game I went to before the international break. I was like, please can Millie just be a centre forward, because at least she hits it with some welly. Like, she goes for it.
It was Bristol. She hit it on the half volley inside the box.
Oh, yeah.
Pulled off the great save. That was it.
She was not in position the whole game. She was scaring the life out of me. But if I was the goalkeeper, I would have been petrified. It was hilarious. She was literally up top getting it. It was so funny. But I actually would not complain with that. I'd be like, yeah, go on, Marc. Like, you've grown some balls. Like, off you go.
Ever since her goal against West Ham, she's like started venturing further and further forward. Like, I think Mia, we spoke about this after the derby where there was that chance in the edge of the box. She chested it. I thought she's going to go for like an overhead kick on the edge of the box here or something. She was lining it up. I was like, don't you even try that from there.
We can't keep bringing that West Ham goal up, please. Let's put it behind us once and for. No, thank you. I've seen it. I was there. I witnessed it. I screamed.
It was so cute. It was fantastic. Like a dad's birthday as well. Like, I just love Millie. Like, she's hilarious. Like, absolutely hilarious. So funny.
Any other team, I'd root for her. Any other team.
Yeah, it was exactly. Give her the role to express herself. Exactly. Who knows? Maybe she'll score the winner on Sunday. Yeah, I think for me, back to the score prediction, it felt like ages ago that we were talking about. I think, I'll go 2-3-1 because I don't see us keeping a clean sheet. I think it'll be England. I back Jace to score this weekend. I back Toon to score, and I am going to go Paris because Amara's put a bet of a burger on it that Paris is not going to get on the score sheet this weekend, so I will back her to score this weekend. Here we go. Going off the rails.
Just do not want any drama like we had last year. Yeah. Do not want any of that. Thank you very much. Keep your hands to yourselves. Use your feet.
John's put an interesting comment there, talking about going off the rail. We're over an hour now, so it's fine. We can do this. Not that we've not been doing it for the whole hour that we've been live. What's the best goal you've ever scored by a keeper? That I've got one that springs to mind straight away, and it's only because I was there. And nobody would have seen this because it was lower league. But if you get a chance, Google Hull Beach City versus Worcester City in an FA Cup qualifier. 94th minute, their keeper comes up, scores an overhead kick to send the game to a replay. And it was the worst coach journey home. It was the best goal I've seen live like that, but the most infuriating journey home because I supported Worcester and it was against our team. 4.5 hours back on a coach after that had happened. So, yeah, if you want to Google one, Google that one. Has anyone got any more? There was a Schmeichel scored a couple, Andrew.
Yes, and that was my first one. My very first game at United. It was the UEFA Cup against Rota Volgograd. Yeah, so he scored the equaliser. Yeah, right. And I think it was just before the 90th minute. So I was there in the Stretford end and watched him header the ball in. So, but if I remember that night, we didn't go through because we lost out on away goals. But yeah, I saw the Great Dane score a goal for United.
Miriam's put a shout in as well. I can't picture it in my head, but I know of it, and it's bugging me. I'll look that one up in just a second as well. I think here we go. Everyone pin these comments. Holbeach versus Worcester City. What Andrews just said there, Schmeichel against Volkswagen. This one that's on screen. What John's just said, Jimmy Glass, because that kept Carlisle up in the last minute as well, which is an interesting one. Allison against West Brom. As much as I hate to say it, that was a good header during the COVID season.
I was thinking of
me in the 70s.
Was it Paul Robinson, Spurs against Watford? Was it Watford?
Oh,
He scored past Ben Foster, he kicked it long, and then it just bounced over Ben Foster into the goal.
Begovic scored one against... someone scored one against Stoke, and I'm sure either Begovic scored it or he got lobbed.
Yeah, because I think it was the wind, wasn't it? It was at Stoke Stadium, and the wind just, blew it in as well.
Yeah, that one. Begovic 10 seconds into the game. That was something. Don't know who that was against, though. That's going to bug me now. I have a feeling it was like a Wigan or somebody that used to be in the Prem that are now not. I'll have to look that one up. My final question then, while somebody Googles that and we'll come back to it. Obviously, it's finally announced, United are going on tour again to Malta this January. It's right at the start of January as well. And I'm glad because we tweeted this off the AFU. I said to these guys before, we tweeted off the AFU account like a month ago and nothing got announced. And I was starting to worry whether we got our information wrong, but it turns out it is correct. United are going to Malta. Again, playing PSV. Vic, I'll start with yourself. Do you think this is a good thing or not? Also, do you obviously expect all of the players to go? As I said, obviously, it's a 7-day camp, I guess. And do you think it's good that we're playing these kind of games in the off season rather than just having a full month off? That we've actually got a competitive game. I don't know much about PSV, but a pretty decent side.
I think a bit of sun does everyone good, especially that time of year. But yeah, I think it'll be really good for them. Hopefully, every player's there. Not going to be one of those that someone just doesn't turn up, like the Conti Cup games. Anyway, but yeah, I think everyone should be there, and I think it'll be really good for them. I think they haven't really had time to gel as a team, and I think it's shown this year is the fact that they don't seem as close as they were last year. And I know there was a lot of transfers, so a lot of changeover, and it's hard, and there's the language barriers as well. So I think it'll do everyone with some good. Going, having a week away together, like I said, exploring. Because when they get the days off or whatever, they can go and explore together. And the football will do them good as well. So yeah, I think it's a really good thing. I really like training camps like that. I think, like I said, the main thing is the fact that they go and spend some time with each other, because the relationship off the pitch does help when you're on the pitch. So I think that'll do them really good, and hopefully it's a good camp, and hopefully a few of us can get out there as well and support them for the game.
It's a good point you raised there, and Mia, I'll let you obviously follow in as well in terms of something we spoke about in terms of the team bonding off the pitch. We saw last January when the squad went to Malta, there was a lot of obviously time off for them, and they obviously got to chill out, I guess, as a team and develop those relationships further. So I guess aside from the game, do you think that's another good thing that United need to go? And like what Sport is saying there, it's good that we don't go into, because Chelsea away is the first game back on the 21st, that we don't go into it undercooked, so to speak.
Definitely. Well, there's been a lot of chat around United this year about how they've not gelled very well or all of that rubbish. So doing stuff like that is never a bad thing. Someone mentioned earlier about if Mary Earps isn't there, we're going to know that she's off, which I think is a really interesting point. And yeah, hopefully if that's the case and she isn't there, that's probably a good thing. And it means that they can all just sort of get away from it and deal with it in another country, on a camp, playing football, in the warmth, in the sunshine. I think it's a good idea. I do think it's a good idea. And I'm gutted that they've announced it so late and that it's so early in January that can't go, because who says no to a trip to Malta to watch the football, realistically?
I was going to say, I wish I'd have backed myself knowing the info like a month ago that it was correct, and I wish I'd have booked my tickets earlier. Same as you, like you just said there, it's a bit too late for me now, and I can't afford to go for that. Just it literally is right after New Year, the 2nd, I think it is, or the 3rd to the 9th. So yeah, it's a tough one. Andrew, I'll let you bring us home on this one, and also NT's brilliant comment there. Let Fallon take us for a new video for a channel, and you could join in as well. Your under the water experience.
Just on the Malta trip, so good that the players come back after Christmas, and get into some warm weather training. I think Marc Skinner did say in his press conference he's going to give the players a full Christmas off, so the players will come back from that. It'll be interesting to see if Mary Earps does go or not. So, but like last season, certain players didn't, travel, so we knew deals were on the table, so players are going to be moving on in January, and I think this time playing European opposition in PSV is probably going to be a bit much better for us, because last time out we defeated the local Malta side, so it was pretty much a rout. So how much did the team really get out of that? That's why I think this time playing European opposition away in Malta will benefit us greatly. And so gutted I can't be going out there. So it's just start of the new year, and I'll be unfortunately at work. So, but I'll be watching from home.
Indeed. And there was a big debate in one of our group chats about this: a January trip to Malta or Wigan away in the Cup, because obviously they do kind of overlap.
Well, if I get a ticket to Wigan away in the ballot, and that's a Monday night, so I'd have to get some time off. I'll have to get some time off work because it's on a Monday night.
I'll be at Wigan, but unfortunately, I'll be in the Latics end.
I was going to say, it's your local. Well, I say local derby. It's
going to be really difficult. It's going to be really difficult. My dad's actually on holiday, so he can give me his Wigan ticket, season ticket, so I can go with someone else. It's just easier because we've got Wigan season tickets. So it's going to be a bit of an awkward one for me. I'm going to be having to sit there with duct tape on to just not celebrate anyone's goals. I'd be okay, I'll be happy either way. Otherwise I'll get thrown out and lose my season ticket. So don't want to do that.
I was going to say they're kicking people out now, aren't they? Obviously, if you sit in the wrong end as a fan, because we having this discussion on Wednesday night whether that's a thing in women that is probably going to come into women's football. That if you're
it's hard because I won't be in the wrong end because I support both, but it's going to be packed because a lot of people from Wigan support United. So it's going to be an interesting game. I cannot wait, and I don't care who wins, so it's nice. And I'll be sat just behind the bench as well, so that's exciting.
See, there we are. So we got that to look forward to as well. It's my birthday weekend as well. So I say weekend, my birthday's on the Friday, but I'm kind of glad United weren't picked on my birthday because it was a few years back and we lost to Swansea in the FA Cup and it ruined the day. So I'm glad that it's not on that one as well. Highland obviously talking about the camp as well. It was the same in Germany in pre-season. Leon didn't go, which told you was off. Yes, I will caveat that by saying Vilda did go to Germany, albeit the details of what I know of that move, it wasn't great and it was very last minute anyway. So things can change. I think where we stand today, I think Earps probably goes to Malta. There's a very strong chance he stays past January, to be honest, but I'm not sure. I'm going to shut up. Anyway, right, we'll wrap it up. We've been going for the hour and 15, allotted time, as usually these shows are. You haven't got anything I want to shout out, are you? Mia, you're on TikTok now, aren't you? Well, you've been on it for a while, but you started actually uploading to it now.
Yeah, I'm giving it a good old bash. So if anyone wants to follow me on TikTok, I'm sure you can find me. But equally, don't expect high quality content because that's not my brand. I can't do it. But yeah, same old normal stuff.
There we are. And follow the All for United WFC TikTok as well while you're there. Follow me as the All for United one. You can follow Vic as well. Vic's on there as well if you want to follow her. I don't actually know what yours is though. I'm sure it's just your name, but I don't know that off the top of my head. So yeah, you can follow her on there as well if you want.
Vic Wally Free, I think.
Something like that. No. I'll clear this up. I don't think Earp's a bad person. I do actually still like her to a point. I just think it's best for all parties if she goes in Jan, because I think we'll see a better Earps. Hopefully not for Arsenal, for another team. And I think we'll see a better United, personally. I just think it's best for all parties if we move her on. And good luck to her if she does go. Maybe a few loans, I'm sure. I hope it is anyway. I hope some of the youngsters go out on loan. I don't know if you have a few loans. I don't expect any big permanents, but things can change. You get told a transfer rumor one day, and literally sometimes within 24 hours it can change. So it's going to be. We'll see when we get to January, but I don't expect any more big outs. It's going to be all eyes on Earps. It's an interesting point. They could recall her. I don't know what the fee is involved for recalling a loan, but yes, we'll see what happens. I think someone asked a comment really like a long time ago now about will we keep Mallard on a permanent. Ooh, I think it really depends on who else we sign, to be honest. We shall see. Early rounds of the FA Cup. Hopefully we get an easy draw, because I think that's the only time we're going to see them. If not, I don't think they're going to feature. Anyway, right, we'll wrap it up there. Make sure you're following the Twitter account at allforunitedwfc. If you haven't noticed, we are doing a Christmas calendar at the moment, like an advent calendar. If you don't see the earlier ones in the day, where we kind of tease the door number and whatever else, Barry's puns on there are brilliant. I don't think people have been getting them as the days they're getting better as the days have gone on, and people are starting to see that there is a pun in every single one that we do to give away who the player is, and some of them are absolutely brilliant. So make sure you go and follow the Twitter account for all of that. As I just mentioned, the TikTok account, we're getting better at uploading on there now. Almost every single day there's a video going out on the TikTok account, so that as well. Liking the video, subscribing. If you're watching this on YouTube, we're literally like 5 subs away from 2.5k, so it'd be amazing as a Christmas present to us if you're new around here, if you can just drop a subscribe on us and just get us to 2.5, because we're on 2.495, I'm sure. So just 5 more. That's all we need. Indeed, and so you make sure you're liking the video as well. Thanks to everyone in the comments. You've been absolutely brilliant. I've really enjoyed this one. The theme of the show, Andrew's under the sea. Mia can't stop laughing. Vic still loves Elatoon. And I just ramble on and talk nonsense for the hour and 20 minutes that we go live. We'll be back on Monday, 7 o'clock, match reaction. As always, as hopefully we'll be talking about a United win. So we'll see you guys on Monday.